say a little bit about the kind of interiority of a lot of how we live and the way that actually makes friendship more difficult?
A lot of our species has tended to have like very, very deep intertwined communal structures, and those have positive and negative features to them. They mean that when something happens to you, when there is a fire in your house, when you get sick, people are instantly in your life, and it's immediate and often intrusive. That also often means that your role in society is like pretty clean and clear and not ambiguous. And there's a lot of that that's really wonderful, and a lot of it that can feel stifling. So I wrote my PhD about the philosophical history of loneliness, and that's the book you were referencing, Friendship as Sacred Knowing. And I rely heavily on Canadian philosopher Charles Taylor in this, and his kind of argument is that over the past 400 to 500 years, especially within European or what he calls North Atlantic civilization, you see a divergence from that pattern where you get more and more motivation and social structures that seek to define the space of individuality and to clarify that things from outside can't get inside. And he thinks that that's true of people and relationships, and it's also true of like sort of broader cosmic things. So like, to take the story that I told from Plato earlier, the idea that poetry comes from muses gets rejected, right? This is just internal genius. It's you thinking or you self-expressing, not something from outside that comes in and whispers to you that the world is like this. And he thinks that part of that is unintentional and implicit, and part of it is a very intentional project to try to say we want to get out of the vulnerability. One of the things that I think is really funny when I give talks on this stuff, I always talk about how when I moved to DC, I was really fascinated by how no one ever asked anyone else to help them move.
Yeah.
So I don't know, most other places in America, the tradition is you buy 20 pizzas and you force all of your friends to like lift your sofa all day.
Yeah.
And in DC, that doesn't happen. And my guess is it's because people think I've only got so much social capital. I want to spend it on getting this person to help me get published at The Atlantic, not touch my dirty sofa.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I think that's pretty much the arrangement that we've gotten to.
Yeah.
Where friendship, the Surgeon General is here, the U.S. Surgeon General, who's last year released a big advisory about the state of loneliness. And he calls it an epidemic, and he thinks that it's a really serious public policy problem. I have some criticisms of his report. I think it's really wonderful that he's bringing a kind of actual existential question to public, and has done very successfully. I think when he comes to solutions or recommendations, it stays sort of at this level of individuality. And I think at the worst, so this is not the Surgeon General, but now I think that the default mode of friendship, as it's kind of, I see it operating, is that friendship has become a luxury commodity. So first of all, you become successful and you've published your articles at The Atlantic. And then secondly, you can buy nice drinks with your friends when you go out. And I think that has created a specific kind of pain for people that they don't quite know how to articulate or why it's there. And so the question is, what is that and how does that work? And I think the more we can develop a language for what that kind of pain is, and my guess is that it does have to do with material invulnerability. So if it's the case that you don't have anyone that you would trust to move your sofa, it largely also probably means you don't have anyone that you would trust if you get cancer.
Yeah.
And there's something about the aloofness of that life that we find alienating.